So as I mentioned in this video, we are going to walk through on how to do a EC2 autoscaling deployment using the CodeDeploy and a GitHub action. So let's go one by one. So first we will create the EC2 instance through the autoscaling. So for that, we require the AMI images. So I have already an AMI images, which is having a HTTPD server, right? Apache server is installed inside that, and the code deploy agent is installed there. How to deploy the code deploy agent? You can find it, the instruction here. Very simple instruction. You can go through it and install your EC2 machine, which you want to create as an AMI image for a base image while you're doing the auto scaling side. So you can do the command line one here on Linux. Yeah, just click on the sudo update and yum install Ruby and then the wget, and you can run this one and instead of this bucket name, you can choose right URL which is already there for your AWS region, and then install the CMH mode permission to that and click on the // install auto. Once it completed, it will be installed and you can check out the status of the code deploy agent through this command like systemctl status code deploy -agent. So I'm considering you already have a AMI images, which is having the IMI role assigned to it, and code deploy agent is installed there. So what is the IMI profile rate? If you go to the EC2 instance, just click on this EC2 instance, go to this here, the security, and check there whether you have IMI role or not, or else you can check out in the security here, and it should be some role assigned to the this IMI IAM role, and make sure this IAM role have that relevant the policy assigned to it. Like if you took a full access one, it is not recommended. Give the access which is required specific to this accession. I just given for demo purpose the full access one. And yes, so for AMI one, as I mentioned, you should have two things there. One thing is like the IMI profile attached to the institution, which we have image have been created. And second one, the AMI image should have the code deployed agent already installed. So let's go to the auto scaling group. This is, I already have the one auto scaling group. Let's create one launch config template. This is the existing one. Let's create a new one. Keep that. Demo. We'll skip this version. Provide guidance and then template tag source template. You can give the source template name also from here, whatever is their existing one, or you can select it. You can optionally switch it if you would like to create a template from the another existing template. So I already have that, but let's not do that. We will create from the scratch. Here you can select the AMI image. I'll go to the my AMI image and select from the drop down. This is a new image that is deployed, and make sure that the check marks is there. Instance types don't include in launch template, but you can select that which is the micro one, T2 micro. As per the your requirement, you can select your instance types. Key pair, I will choose which is already there available. You can create a new one here. Network setting and keep its existing security groups only. So whichever launch wizard file is there, which is available like HTTP port open for communication, and the port is open for that. EBS volume, I will not touch anything. Resource tag and advanced, let's make sure that I am instance profile attached to a particular citizen profile image builder. And then this one. So I will assign the same profile which is there for integration, that is the ECS instance roles. And you can ignore others field here. If you have to run any command while launching your EC2 instance, you can add the user data and command there. For this demo, we will skip this option and get launch templates. So template is created here. Now we will create autoscaling group here. Create autoscaling group. We'll give the YouTube demo ASG. Launch step, we will select YouTube demo EC2. We'll make sure that details are there. Then next, PPC, select the two subnet, which is under the same zone. That's the minimum one, we can do it. Click on the next. If you want to attach a load balancer, you can do that. Attach existing load balancer, you can do that. Attach new load balancer. Just create a new load balancer, which is application load balancer. We'll use the YouTube EC2 one load LB. I'll give it the LB. That's internet facing because we have to use through the domain name, and submit the same one. We'll have the existing default to that one, HTTP protocols, and then health checks. Turn on the elastic load balance health checks. We'll have a grace period of 300 seconds, and additional time we can just skip up. And then next. One more additional requirement is missing our email value. Let's check out what is missing. Okay, there's the existing target group. We are a create target group. We'll just create TG. And then we'll click on next. We'll keep the desired capacity to 1 and max capacity to 2. Let's keep for testing purpose, we can give desired capacity to 2. Minimum will be 1 and maximum will be 2 capacity. So no scaling policy, use autoscaling will remain at initial size and will not dynamically decide the meet demand. We'll not keep a target basis, we will keep it a basics behavior for demo. No policy. Here the multiple maintenance policies are there based on the launch pricing basis. How do you control cost? You can terminate and launch. Custom behavior you can manage and also and launch before terminating. No policy like that, and you can do it. Enable the scaling in production. So we'll not disable the scaling protections. Go to next one. And then click on the next. Let's review it once and create autoscaling group. Yeah, so this is now updating the capacity and creating new autoscaling group. Let's go to the load balancer and see that the load balancer are getting available. Yes, YouTube demo AHG load balancer is getting provisions. Now go to the instances and see that is there any new instances are getting? Yes. These are the new instances are getting spin up by a new AHG group and load balancer and they're going to be attached. How do we see that? Go to load balancer, click on the load balancer, and you can see here the target group HTTP one. Click on that particular target group here, and you can see the targets are attached here one by one. Once it done, it will attach another target as well getting initializes. So since it's getting loaded, we'll just check out. We'll wait for a few seconds to get it updated one. So instances are still getting initializing, like, so how, what are you going to do, right? So in general, what generally processes like, you deployed your code to one of the instances, you create one EC2 image, AMI image, and you create another new EC2 instance from that AMI, right? So in a code deployed, this already has a facility to do that auto scaling deployment to the ASG group. Okay, so meanwhile, it's getting initialized. Let's check out the how the code deployed is going to be work it. Yeah, I think that's the one it has got passed. So let's try to connect and see that whether respective things are there or not. As I mentioned, right, that code deployed agent should be there. So there is a way to check out by using this command. Go to the EC2 instance. Just make sure that deployment agent is working fine. I'll just give an idea currently in the var www.html. There is the index file is there. Just check out the index file content. It is just simply welcome to automated EC2 image builder, and there is small tab. We'll just make a changes here and there while doing deployment just to make sure that okay, these are there. So I think we are good with the EC2 instance. We'll just go to the checkout. Both the instances are working fine. Let's make sure that our page are up. Click on the one and click on the DNS here. Yes. So things are working fine. So this is the example paragraph. Anything in the body tag will appear on the page. You just like this p tag and this content. That's all. So now we have checked that our DNS endpoint is working fine and the page is up. So now let's go move to the our next part, that is the code deployment. So I will just click on here, code deployed service. Let's open the service here. Yeah, so this is old, like ignore that. So at the first steps, what you have to do, you have to go to the application, create one application here. So let's create that YouTube demo applications. We'll select the compute for platform. There are multiples available there, like EC2 on-premises, AWS Lambda, AWS ECS. Through the code deployment, you can do a multiple type of deployment. In this demo, we are going to do the EC2 on-premises deployment. So let's select that and create the application. Once you create an application, the next step is to create a deployment group. So now go to the create deployment group. We'll give that YouTube demo deployment group DG. I can say DG. And then service name will be code deployment test application. So this is role already created. Let's look at that. What is role is belong to that first. Yeah, it's already open. You can see that Amazon EC2 role for AWS code deployed the policy, and AWS code deploy roles is assigned to that. So make sure that the role which you are going to assign to the code deployed deployment of services, these role two are available there. This is a predefined AWS policy. You can attach to that. You can find it from the add permission, attach the policy there. So since I already have that, I'm going to use the same. So let's use that one. Now there are two type of deployment, in place and blue green. So blue green is like when we are doing a multiple type of analysis and R&D around your deployment, right? If you go in percentage one, you can go for the blue green one. But in demo, we'll go into in place, which does that update instance immediately the latest application device. Next one is autoscaling group. So we'll do through the autoscaling groups only, and we'll select your YouTube demo AHG. These are options like whether you want to deploy to Amazon EC2 instance, on-premises instance, or autoscaling group. Since our EC2 instance is into autoscaling group and is spin up by the autoscaling group, that's why you want to do the deployment to the autoscaling groups. Deployment settings will be there, like you have the code deploy default one at a time, half at a time, all at once. So we'll select the one at a time, and in production also we can select the all at a time once also, like depend upon the your business system can go and check out. And you can create a deployment configurations manually also. So we'll disable this. We don't require select load balancer to manage incoming traffic during the. We already have that enable load balancing. If you want to have the load balancing enable, you can enable that also. Like, and you can select our load balancer here. Create deployment. So deployment group is getting created and it's ready. So after this two step, right? Creation of application, creation of deployment group. Next step is to create a deployment. We create a deployment like where we are going to do the actual integration with the Git. Okay. First we'll look into that how manually you can deploy it. And next we'll look into that how through the GitHub action we can do the deployment. So let's go to the create deployment here. So while doing the create deployment, you will have two options here. Either you can choose the application store in Amazon S3 or application store in the GitHub. In this demo, we are going to talk about the GitHub repository. So here, application is stored in GitHub. So if you have a GitHub token already, you can go to your GitHub and copy the token from that and paste it here. Else, you can just type your username, now there will be 89, enter, and you will get the option to connect to your GitHub. And this way you can process your auth configuration request and it will show the repository name and commit ID. So I already have one repository created here that's called EC2 image build report EC2 autoscaling deployment, code deployment, GitHub actions. So in this repository, I have one web app sample code, which is the index.php HTML file, which will be going to be update that as a part of deployment process. And along with that, I have a app6 YML. I'll talk about that part, but before that, just like click on the which things are there. So we'll select the this as a repository link there, repository name, and I will going to make some changes here in our PHP HTML, and that will appear. So let's make some changes here, just like that. This is a YouTube demo. Do commit the changes. And then I will pick that commit number to make sure that using in a deployment. So I'll copy this, I'll paste it in the here. Yeah. Description, an optional one. Options are there, whether you want to fail deployment, whenever there's something is happening, override the content, return the content, that you can do it. So you can override contents. And deployment group overlay, if you want to do that, you can select that one also, override also, and rollback operation. If you want to roll back the operations, if something goes fail, you can do that. So we'll disable the rollback and create a deployment. So now you can see this is going to be start deployment soon. And if you want to stop deployment in between, you can click on the stop deployment and do that also. And if you want to do the stop and rollback deployment, you can click on the stop and rollback deployment. Now you can see the progress here. So look at that. There are two EC2 instances are going on, right? Because we have a two EC2 instances running in our autoscaling group. If you have a n number of EC2 instances running on your autoscaling group, it will show that n number of instances there and status accordingly. It will go one by one. Once it's one instance is complete, it will go to the next one. Till time, next will keep showing the pending. So let's look at this, what view is going inside this event. You can see that there are multiple lifecycle hooks are there. How it exactly work, right? It's based on the your EC2 instance lifecycle management. It goes like before block traffic, what is there? It will block the traffic. After block traffic, then it will stop the application. It download the bundle from your GitHub repository. Then before install, if you want to run any script there, after installing and install, then we'll have application start, validate the services, and then it allows the traffic on that. So it has a complete lifecycle management which go through the deployment process. So you don't need to worry about while doing deployment. It goes one by one. So this generally block traffic take like minimum 3 to maximum 5 minutes. Let's wait for completing this one. It looked like this took 5 minutes, 10 seconds, and still allow traffic is still going on it. Let's wait for a few more time, and then we can check our load balancing. Load balancer here. So it is the DNS name, YouTube demo. Click on the YouTube demo. Still need to, yeah, yes. So our changes are deployed, and this is the YouTube demo. You can see that in every content. So now you can check out through your EC2 instance also whether your code was really went there or not. Let's go to click connect on, connect one, and just go to the var.ww.html folder and check out the index of files. Let's quickly do that. Right. So we'll check another instance also. And click on the click on, yeah. So catch var ww.html international file. See, It's one still not updated. We'll check out this one. We'll check out this one. Cat. um, Yeah, this is updated one. Yeah, I think what I see that this is only for one instance, right? You have to go to this deployment and check out what's the progression happening in another instance, right? And another instance is still going on it. That's why the code was not changed, but your load balancer is managing your traffic to that the new code changes, and that's how the this manual deployment can be happen. Now, how to automate this manual deployment, right? Let's look at that way. So what is required for us to do that, right? There are two things is required. One is appsix.yml5. Appsix is defined that uh, which file you want to copy there. Okay, so even if you have manual also, I forgot to mention in earlier step, but even if you do manual deployment also and to the GitHub action, the appspecs.yml file is a really important file. So here we have to mention the version 00. You can mention your application version name, OS Linux, and then file structure. File structure, you can say that what is your source code. Now, if you have a source code uh, in your root, you can give the root directory. If you are in a subfolder, like I have a web app sample, I given that one, and destinations one /val/HTML. And if you want to override true or not, and filing the behavior one. And then a branch config. So here I'm bugging the branch config. Ignore this WIP, WS, like any the standard you can follow it, right? For the release branches and all of that. But you can have a main in the main branch. So what I'm doing it here from the main branch, I'm passing the two different parameters for the automations. One is the deployment group name and deployment group config. So this is the one test deployment group and the ARN for this one. So let's update that to the new one. Let me change this to the new code deployment application. So let's go to our applications and YouTube demo applications and make a changes there and the deployment groups. So I need to copy the deployment group, right? So YouTube demo DG. That's the deployment group name and the group config ARN. How do I get group config ARN? I can just click on here and I can copy this. Sorry. Yeah, this one. ARN. So this will be same like the ARN, like so not going to change it. So we'll just commit appsec1 and then the main thing. So now to use a GitHub action, you need to create a folder called .github/workflows. Make sure that you use a right naming convention. See that .github/workflows. F is there. Under workflow, you can have a file called deploy.yml file where you can mention the things. So GitHub actions work on the life cycles of the GitHub, like your code push to the branch, your PR merge, your tag creation. There are various different life cycles are available. You can go to the GitHub action life cycles. Oops. And you will go get that here. So, sorry, not this one. The actions books. Yeah, here you can find out all the hooks which you want to use it, right? That you can keep exploring around that based on your use case, you can use it. For this demo, I have used when you're pushing a change to the main branch, then to trigger the deployment job. So now I am giving the name called push code to this image, and then on push branch will be main. Whenever there is a branch code push to the main branch, it will trigger that. Then what job? So this is next is the job one. So after the job, you need to give the name of the job. It is a customized name. I have given a build-push deploy. You can give that a demo, something like that, and based on your name, you can give that. Then next parameter is runs on. So runs on is like either you can have a self-hosted one or you can have a Ubuntu or Little. There is a lot of other options are available. I will choose the Ubuntu. Runs on like where you are going to run this deployment process, right? That machine you have to select it. So I've selected the Ubuntu latest one. Here I've selected environment as AWS environment. So I have created one environment under the settings, right? If you go to the settings and open up your secret variable and action, you have to create your secret values here. Okay, what secret value? Like to connect you to AWS one, you required AWS access key, AWS secret key, and code deployment points, right? So that we can have it. So that's for that you need to create the environment and create the secret variable under that one. Since I already created, I will use the similar one there. So next step, first step is like check out the codes into that particular server. So it like checkout and then action checkout for this one. This is already predefined actions are available. So I have used that one. Then list the rate. I just for simply whether my code is checkout there and see that, okay, what's the container there. I just did it based on your use cases and steps. You can keep using that one. Next is configure AWS credentials. So I have used predefined actions designed by the AWS only. AWS action slash configure hyphen AWS slash credentials, sorry, hyphen credentials at this version. This required some parameter to pass. So with this with parameter, you can ask the required parameters like AWS region, AWS access key, secret key, and key. And you can pass your region what you want to deploy and secret key dot values particular. Now let's look at this one. What is there? So this is the official AWS package for the AWS GitHub action. You can go through this documentation and all are mentioned there. There are more functionalities are there. Like you can configure the OIDC providers also. You can give the HTTPS tokens also. All these are available here. And what parameters need to pass, it is mentioned in the option parameters. So let's go to the link. And then next step is like create a code deploy. So for create code deploy, I'm going to use this package called web factory slash create hyphen WS code deploy hyphen deployment and version. This is also available predefined one, which I found it, which is very helpful with this parameters asking for application name. So here will application name will have to give it. So our application name will be, it is the application name will be your YouTube demo application. So this is the one we'll make a changes into code, deploy applications, and here it's like. And then if next is the print commit message, you can ignore this one also. If you want to show that, okay, what is your output of a deployment, you can use this as packages, which actually read the steps deployed. Deployed is the ID of that and outputs whatever coming and deployment ID can be shown in that this one. So now let's commit the changes. So let's do that. Updated, new code, deploy applications. Okay. Because changes that. So once you make a changes, before that, let's make sure that our existing uh, things are still going on or not. Let's check out that. Deployment ID, go to deployment ID and see that. Yeah, I think both are completed. So EC2 instances are already there. So now you can go to the actions and see that the actions are getting triggered. Now you can see that the updated new code deployment action getting here in the workflow. Open that one and see that one by one steps. Click on this one. Set up job, checkout done, create code deployed, and waiting for deployments. Everything will be start here. So once it start deployment, it will start reflecting to the deployment. So see that is there any extra deployment is showing here? Yes, this is new deployment getting created through our GitHub Actions, and it's already started. You can track that one here. And you can see that the two instances are going here, and in one is progress, and see that the deployments happening it. So like same like the what we have done the manually, it's doing to the GitHub actions, right? So once it complete, it will show this all are tick mark and everything done. So I can show you as an example. Let me show you the actually one, which we have done already. So yeah, so click on this and see that if everything is work well, then it will have all check mark done and you will have a green tick mark. And that's how your GitHub Actions push your code to your EC2 Autoscaling to the code deployment. And it will keep going on it, so you can keep a track of this one. Hope you like this video, and if you have any comment or any feedback or any question around this video, feel free to drop a comment in the YouTube section, and I will try to answer those questions. Thank you very much.